Yes, your royal swellness.
Ah, you cooking for me now. Oh, Steve, look. Voila! Steve, thank you, Steve. You bringing me in. Life lessons of Steve and Laura. It's Steve and Laura time. Check your time all the time. And what is the life lesson? You guys, let's not get it twisted. It's about the presentation. But get you a man that'll cook for you like this. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't even expecting it, huh, Laura?
2 eggs over easy, bacon medium, hash browns avec oignon with juice de lauron.
Oh, okay.
All my favorite stuff. What's going on?
A minute. So not only did he get up and cook for her, cooked all her favorite foods. Okay, stop for a second. The fact he knows all her favorite foods and cooks them. Remember, this is Steve that likes his own kind of weird, you know.
Oh, no thanks. Badger goes straight to my hips.
Yeah. It's his own kind of food. He's not forcing Laura with that. He's cooking. Look at this, man. Let's look at this plate. I mean, just look at this. This is coming from Steve that used to eat like this.
No longer is it I gotta be me.
Look at that. That is.
From now on, it's I gotta be better.
This is big time for Steve right here. This is big time. Come on, Steve, with it.
Let's just say if you were to choose me as your life mate, this repast would be your future.
Ooh.
Steve, are you trying to bribe me?
You betcha, baby.
You betcha, baby. He had an agenda. I see what you, Steve. I'm trying to tell you, he getting smooth with it now. He getting smooth with it. It says, kiss the cook. You know what I'm saying? Steve is doing it all. But here's the other thing that I think people always overlook. Look at the smile on Laura's face. Look at the smile on her face, right? Steve, and just in case y'all don't pick up what he putting down, he getting Laura prepared. I told you, this is what Steve's pursuit has been of Laura. Marriage. He ain't playing with her. He ain't playing with her. It's always been marriage. They have a beautiful friendship has blossomed out of it. But that was not, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said Steve's actually getting more than he ever dreamed of. But what he wanted was this. This is... Look at these two. Look at these two.
I'm a big guy.
Hello, Steve. Laura?
Oh, shoot. You recognize me.
You recognize me. Forget the fact he's raised y'all this time. Shoot, you recognize me. The Lord joking.
Why are you two wearing? What is that you two are wearing?
Yeah, explanation.
Flamingo.
Flamingo.
He's been doing this all night. Every time he hears the word flamenco.
Laura, you knew he was going to do that. Laura, you knew he was going to do that. You knew it, Laura. You knew it, Laura. Stop it. Acting like she don't know.
But why are you wearing that?
That right there. Right there, right there.
Well, Steve always dresses to match the food he eats. And we went to El Cid tonight for Spanish food.
Okay.
Huh. Wait a minute. Y'all know this. I mean, this seems so familiar, don't you think? Think about it for a second. Oh, he used to do this stuff with...
Oh, why are you dressed like that?
Stevie asked me out to dinner and we decided to go Dutch.
Myra, that people used to scream and holler is what makes Myra so much better than Laura. Like, oh my gosh, right home to mama. But now Laura's doing it. And you know what's even better about it? Is that Steve and Laura are actually soulmates. They're actually the best of friends. They actually have compatibility. Everything that I just named that he has with Laura, or that I just described that he has with Laura, he didn't have with Myra. He didn't have a soul connection with Myra. He didn't have, he wasn't best friends basically with Myra. He wasn't compatible with Myra. So you try to tell me, which y'all be trying to tell us for years, that which one is better. No, stop it. It's Laura all the way, baby. It's Laura all the way.
So how did he convince you to dress flamenco?
How did he get you?
Flamingo.
Love. Get it. Get it, Steve. Get it, Steve. Get it, Steve.
Important to ask you, Carl. Please stand up, stand up.
Oh, gotta stand up. Come on, Carl. Come on. Come on.
All right.
This might come as a bit of a shock to you, so you might want to sit down.
Wow, Steve. Wait a minute, Steve. I was on your side having Carl get up. But now you're going to tell him this is going to come as a shock, so now sit back down. I'm thinking Steve is fiddling here. This must be some heavy stuff on his heart. You know how we do. We go around until we got to really get there.
But you just told me to stand up.
Yeah.
Yes, but you were already sitting.
Right.
So I couldn't ask you to sit if you were already doing that. So I asked you to stand up. And that way...
Oh, we can just get on with it.
Right.
Okay.
You can tell Steve is nervous here, man. He's nervous right now. He's nervous. This is big time.
Aren't you going to have a seat?
Steve.
All right.
Steve, leave it
Steve, you
be.
are driving me crazy with the sitting and the standing and the flamenco.
Flamingo!
Oh, now you got him going with this.
Mr. Winslow, I, Stephen Q. Urkel,
Hold that head up.
hereby, officially and respectfully, request permission to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage.
Come on, Steve. Head up. You know what I'm saying? Head up, around. I love the presentation, that he's giving right now. I told you, I knew it had to be something kind of deep on his heart because Steve's being a little bit silly. He's kind of playing around the subject, but he's going to Pops. I love this. He's going to Pops and saying, hey, I want to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about this too, how long Steve has been, because Steve's a dreamer, right? How long he's been waiting for this, but also how long he's been dreaming about this. So this big time. Hold your head up high, Steve. Yeah.
Let me get this straight.
Oh no, he's stuttering.
Laura, my daughter Laura,
Yeah.
has agreed to marry you.
Oh wow.
Oh, no, not yet.
Wow.
I just wanted your blessing before I asked her.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. 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 This is interesting, man. This is interesting that Carl is taking this approach with Steve. I don't think he's considering anything right now. How long Steve has loved Laura, the fact that he actually does truly love Laura, the things that they've been through, what they have built. They've been out on many, many dates. They have been dating. So this shouldn't be too much of a surprise, for Carl. So I like Steve's approach. I don't know what's going on with Carl over here. I don't know what he's going over there. I don't know what he got going on over there.
For a minute.
He hasn't asked yet. No.
Well, go ahead. Ask away.
Oh, thank you, Carl.
Well, okay.
I can really ask her?
Yes, okay. Let me go. Yes, you can.
Look at I love the fact here of how much Steve wants Carl's blessing, which is why I feel like it's a little odd the way Carl's acting. I think he's being a little bit insensitive here, because this is big for Steve, right? This is a big, big thing, a lifelong love, right? Laura, a better way to describe Laura is she is a lifelong love, and like I said, I love the fact that Steve wants to get, because a lot of y'all, I know a lot of y'all bros will not even do this. Y'all just gonna propose and the parents find out, on FaceTime later, right? So the fact that Steve is going to Carl, who he kind of sees as a father figure anyway, again, why I don't like this interaction that he's giving Steve right now.
Thank you. Boy, I feel so much better now. For a second there, I thought Laura had, lost her mind.
Wow. Talk about when people need to grade Laura with grace. Okay, I said this before. You have her daddy. This her daddy. They're saying that Laura got to be out, would have had to have lost her mind to want to marry Steve, right? And then we know what Maxine said.
You've told me 100 times that I'm crazy for going out with Steve.
That's right. But you wouldn't go on medication. So here we are.
Right? So we see what Maxine said there. So what are we looking at? We put these kind of two things together. Laura, her cuckoo clock ain't working. You know what I'm saying? If she wants to be with Steve, and it just makes you wonder if this has been the inner struggle on the inside of Laura. You know, knowing that, her brother laughing at her. We put all that stuff back in here.
You got a lot of nerve talking about somebody else's boyfriend. You going out with Steve Urkel.
Basically grow up thinking in her environment that something's wrong with her, if she wants to be with Steve.
For a second there, I thought Laura had, lost her mind.
Look at the joy. This is what we're looking at. We had to go back and look at this. Look at the joy in Steve's face right now. Joy to the Lord. It's not Christmas time. But look at the joy in his face right now because he just asked Carl. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I want to love you for life. Laura's the love of his life. Check out his face after Carl says what he says. Check this out.
Better now. For a second there, I thought Laura had, lost her mind.
Now look at his face. Now look at his face. Right? He went from being super, excited and joyful. Look at his face now. Because Carl's put doubt in his mind now. Like, oh, wait a minute. Laura got to be out of her mind to want to be with me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, again, for everybody that wants to judge Laura so harshly, do you ever consider these things? The Lord does not have in her circle, right? In her circle community, Laura does not have a lot of support. And really, Steve doesn't either if in this area, right? We know they could go back to the polka palooza, get their little polka on and be celebrated there. But here, this is what I said, this is reality. How many guys would still go through it after this? After the dad literally tells you to your face that my daughter got to be out of her mind to want to be with you. And that's why you see his face has changed. See, his face went from joy to this. You know what I'm saying? Now we talk joy and pain, sunshine and rain. Just that quick. You see, Steve's face never goes back to joy. His face never goes back to joy. Okay. This stuff is important.
Steve, come on, we're gonna be late for the movies.
I'm ready.
What's in the basket?
Oh, just
First of all, I'm like, Laura's waiting. Laura's waiting on Steve. Who would have ever thought that they're going on a date and Laura's waiting on Steve? You would think it'd be the other way around. You would think.
a few snacks. Let's see what we got here.
What you got, Steve? What you got?
Badger chips.
Pass.
A fresh jar of squid jelly.
Absolutely not.
Ooh. And lastly, a weasel doll.
Nope. Come on, Steve. See, this is what I'm saying, man. Like, what are we talking about? Like, look at the smile on Laura's face. She's laughing.
If you're happy and you
Oh.
Laura,
Laura.
I love you.
Woo.
Steve,
Oh,
I'm so happy.
I love you too.
Woo! Oh, God. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? It's so awesome and it's so beautiful. Now, look, we just want to look at this real quick. This is what I think is so dope. Look at how Laura's opening the door for Steve to let him have his entrance, right? And this, in a nutshell, is Steve and Laura. You know what I'm saying? Like, Laura has always allowed Steve to shine. She's always allowed Steve to have his moment, right? Like she's always done that. And that's why I said Laura levels him up. Laura makes Steve better, in every aspect of life. But let's look at this again for a second, because I pointed this out, right? I pointed this out, and saying like, everybody's like, Myra did this and Myra did that and Myra won the polka palooza and Myra did, and they have so much stuff in common. And I'm just like, what do y'all say to this now? What do y'all say to this now when Laura's literally doing the same stuff? She's literally doing the same stuff. And there's so much to be said about that. One is she is embracing her new life, her new self, the new direction that life has given her. Laura is embracing that, right? She's not dragging her feet about it. She don't have an attitude or whatever. She is outright embracing it, right? So I'm just asking, so what do you say about that now? What do you say about that now? Well, Myra and Steve, they had things in common, but they really didn't. They really did not like that. If Steve and Myra had so much in common, why are they not together? Why are they not together? People say these kind of logic things all the time. You know what I'm saying? But if Steve and Myra were really they just had so much stuff in common, how is Steve and Laura able to be something? Just explain that. Because Steve and Myra, they would go polka dancing. Steve and Myra would eat the same strange foods, but they had nothing else in common that actually mattered. They had nothing in common that you can actually build upon, because that's what a relationship is. It's building and growing and evolving, and that's what you're seeing Laura do. But let me say this too. What else we see Miss Laura Winslow do? You know, and I said this before, she's doing the same things that you're seeing Myra do. But here's the bigger thing, right? Because I said, well, why is Laura doing these things? Because she loves Steve. Because she loves him, right? This, you know, and like I said, she loves him, but she's also embracing that new. You know what I'm saying? She embracing the new. But it's because she loves him, right? Now, I know people would sit there and they would say, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying about Myra. That means Myra had to love him too. No, okay? Myra had a certain love for Steve. But here's the thing. The greatest element of love is sacrifice. What you're seeing out of Myra, you can say, well, Myra and Steve love to do those things. Okay, then that means it's not a sacrifice. If you both enjoy playing basketball, you both enjoy playing video games, you both enjoy whatever that is, there's no sacrifice there. But when one doesn't feel it as much, like, I ain't really into all that, but you are, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. That is sacrifice. So Laura, even right here, is showing a greater, I keep trying to tell y'all, Laura right here is showing you a greater level of love because it's sacrificial love. And I've been saying this the whole entire time. What Laura has always shown Steve is that sacrificial love. You know, well, she'll go do things that puts her, again, going and jumping in the water, you know.
For a moment there, I thought you were Hey, wait a minute. You can swim.
Ah.
Yes, and now so can you.
Oh. To help him learn how to swim for his education. She doesn't get nothing from that. When they thought that he blew up the school.
I'm tired of studying until 4 a.m. while Urkel does classes at a page and gets A's. Darn you, Urkel. Darn you to heck.
Darn you to heck. I love there's no cursing. I love.
Your Honor, in light of this dramatic development, I ask that all charges against Steve be dropped.
Case dismissed.
And Laura goes and defends him in front of the school. She gets nothing for that. Right? It's sacrifice. And that's what you continue to see out of Laura. And that's why I said Laura has a greater love for Steve because, first of all, like I said, they have that friendship love, but they have that sacrificial love. That type of love, it don't come every day. That type of love, I'm going to tell you right now, ain't in every relationship. So beautiful about this is what you're seeing in Laura in this clothing and doing all these type of things, going polka. I've been saying it is a proof of the deepness and the depthness of her love for Steve. You know what I'm saying? It was already obvious before they shared one kiss. You know what I'm saying? Because of the sacrifice. You know, people act like, sacrifice is normal until it's in relationships, till it's husband, wife, right? Boyfriend, girlfriend, until it's in marriage like that. People you overlook it. We always want to cut it short when it comes to relationships. And that is the greatest one. Like I said, let me say this real quick. One of the, for you, the people that want to debate, no, sacrifice, no, right? I'm just asking, do you believe in Jesus? Okay. He is the example of love, right? And if he's the example of love, he's also the example of sacrifice. It's sacrifice. And so this is something that Steve and Laura have already, already implemented into their, this is what I'm saying, already implemented into their relationship. This key element was already working. And that is the beauty of it, right? Some people get together and they got to learn, oh, goodness gracious. People start getting together, they got to learn this. They got to learn it. Steve and Laura, it's already been in practice. Sacrificing for one another has already been in practice. Communicating has already been activated. People, let me just say this. I just want to know, why is it that Laura gets the brunt of hate when it comes to Steve? When there are many times, and this is one of them, when Carl treats Steve like absolute trash. Laughs in his face. You know what I'm saying? But nobody ever comes for nobody else. Eddie, the many times that he tries to cancel Steve, nobody comes. But you know what my pastor said? My pastor said nobody goes and tries to, how do you say it in the right way that we can say it on here? Nobody goes and tries to down something that is not of value. So that lets me know that the relationship of Steve and Laura, you guys see value in because you try to tear it down. Because I don't hear nobody else. I don't hear nothing else said about any other character. Myra wasn't even good to Steve. She was manipulative, controlling, obsessive. She was a fibber. We will say she was a fibber. She was trying to, pressure Steve into doing stuff with his body that he didn't want to do yet. Like, where was Myra good to Steve? But again, it's only Lord, because y'all deep down know the value in that. And I'm just going to listen to what my pastor says. What they see valuable is what they actually try to tear down. They don't try to tear down stuff that they don't see as valuable. But let me get to this with Carl. I think it's very interesting that, again, the approach that he took, laughing in Steve's face, and Carl knows how much Steve loves Laura. So he should understand how important this is. And for him to and this is what I'm saying. And then I showed the picture up there to where Steve's face, his whole face shifted when Carl said to Steve, "Oh, I thought that Laura lost her mind." Right? I thought that Laura lost her mind if she said yes to you. And you saw Steve, his whole facial expression change. And it did not go back to the joy that he had. Let me tell you, okay, just for some of y'all, okay, that have been blessed to have a father and a father figure in your life, and an active participating father, right? It's a lot. It's your daddy teaches you a lot about men. Okay? Daddy does that. And so saying that if Carl did not see Steve as valuable, you know what I'm saying? Laura at a young age is going to be impressionable to her daddy, and she may see things that exact way.
You fix it, Dad?
No. 4.5 months of work.
Wow.
And now this is junk.
Yeah.
I hate that kid. I wish she would just move away and never come back. Yeah.
That is what is so beautiful about Steve and Laura, that Laura grew into this. Laura grew in, and y'all think that's wrong. But anyway, but Laura grew into recognizing Steve's value. Y'all wanted her to recognize it at 12 years old. Well, she didn't recognize it at 12 years old. How much stuff did you take for granted at 12 years old that you realize later you appreciate? It's a human thing, right? And I think there's a lot of outside influences on Laura as well. Friends, daddy, brother, all these people that are laughing and mocking and making a joke out of something that is so serious, out of something that is so, that's been, you can tell, like I said, Laura's going out to eat with Steve and dressing the way that he wants to dress and polka dancing and all that. You can tell even right now, truly, truly loves Steve. She loves him. You can tell that, because what Laura has always done is showed it in her action. But she had to learn it, because what Laura had to do, and I don't think people realize this, is Laura had to go against what's around her. She had to go, because do y'all realize sometimes y'all can pick up on stuff without nothing being said? What is that saying they say? If you know type of stuff, right? A lot of times you don't have to say it. It's the vibe. So Laura didn't, Carl didn't have to go and say to Laura, "Oh man, Steve, he da-da-da-da-da," right? So Laura, number one, has heard Carl complain about Steve all the time. All of that. And Laura kind of probably knew that, Carl and others probably wouldn't approve. But Laura got to a place because she kept growing. As a woman, Laura kept growing and evolving. And that is the beauty in it. That is the beauty in it. No, if I was Steve, I wouldn't have gave Laura enough. Man, because you're probably broke, busted, and lonely. Okay, because the Bible says that pride brings a man low. Okay, you don't go to high places with pride. You go low. Okay, pride always takes you low. Okay, that's what the word say. Okay, that's what the word say. That's what God said. You talk to him about it if you got an issue. It's an amazing thing, because Laura has come to this place and where she is with Steve all on her own, with no influence whatsoever, because all the influence that's there is actually against it. That is the beauty of the Steve and Laura storyline. That is the beauty of their love, is that Laura had to grow out of her, herself even, and had to grow out of the opinions of others to get her true love, to get this one man that's going to love you like ain't nobody else going to love you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so inspiring from that. Growing out of those, Laura just did not grow out of a level of immaturity. Laura grew out of having to have people agree with everything that she does. She grew out of that too, because if she didn't grow out of that, she still wouldn't be with Steve, because there's nobody that agrees. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I love this storyline so much, because it's one of grace and patience, and growth and maturity and, growing into your own. And that's what Laura is doing. She's growing into her own. And in her own, she's seeing the value of Steve. She's attracted to him. She loves him. She enjoys a lot of those were already there. It's just the romance kind of wasn't there. But it's just such a beautiful love story. People are going to continue to hate on it, but you probably hate your own relationship too. So what can we say there? What can we say there? But love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.
It's the murder.